All right, there is another lie that we need to uncover. And it was a lie that I believed for a long time when I was in a band. And it really came to fruition for me with this YouTube channel. And I want this to help you. I know that this will help you. But the best way that I can explain it off top is I get comments on this YouTube channel. And there's some people that say, oh, I look forward to this every day sometimes. Or some people say, thank you so much. And right now, as it stands in October 1st of 2025, I get like 50, maybe 100 views a video. That's not the point. That is part of the point that I'm making. Now, when you look at other YouTubers, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views, and that might seem like, hey, this video is successful because it's reached X amount of people. And in the game of public-facing art that I've been a part of for a very long time, and that's what ties into the band, many times what is pedestalized or what is seen as the here-all, end-all is how many people showed up to your show. Oh, you had 2 there? Oh, you had 20 people there? Oh, you only had 200 people there? It would sometimes feel like a sign to quit if you didn't have enough people at your show, or you felt like, somehow you were all of a sudden, just speaking into the ether and just not doing well. You were not performing to your standard. And there's 3, obviously we're gonna give you the 3 in the story on this one. But the thing that would be so crippling when we would play a show and there would be X amount of people there, was you would sometimes feel like throwing it all away just because it wasn't sold out or it wasn't packed. And there is this lie that we tell ourselves that unless there is enough people invested in this, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I'm not prepared for how deep these videos go, and this one is one of them. When I see the one person that comments on one of these videos, or when I see the one view on these videos, that is more than it's more than enough. It's enough, but that one view is as important as the 100,000 or the million. A million views is the same as one view, in a sense. Walk with me here, walk with me. I heard this saying once. It said, if you save a man's life, you save the whole world. Because for that person, we'll say human, if you save somebody's life, you save the whole world. Because for that person, the whole world hung in the balance for them. And if they pass away, well, then their whole world goes away, in a sense. Having one view on a video is great. That means one person watched it. A million views means there was a million views. It doesn't mean a million people necessarily, right? It means that it was viewed a million times. But it has one view times a million. That one view is, what is the view? That is it. And if that one view saw to it that the video was worth it, well, then that's all you need. The first thing that we need to understand about the power of one is that all it takes is one. And that can go any direction in your life. We don't measure trauma by how many times we were called, a derogatory name or something like that. It only takes one time. One time. We don't need a quantity of things to happen for us to change our minds or for us to all of a sudden switch up and think differently. It just takes one time. One time. So the first step is to understand the power of one. When you understand the power of one, then you can start to look at quantity as almost a myth. How much do you have? Well, I have this many. Okay? It's just 1 times whatever that is. Now, you got to roll with me on this one. I know this one seems a little bit out there. But it is as important to me that one person feels impacted by these videos as a million. Because if I were to only value the million, then the one wouldn't matter. Does that make sense? It's when we don't see the forest for the trees. It's when we start to look at the big picture and not any of the steps in front of us. It's when we take things for granted and we just want to get to the mountaintop. And this really, really neglects the journey and pedestalizes the destination. And the second thing I want you to understand is when you prioritize the one, you prioritize the many. So once you've understood the power of one, you can understand the power of many, because you don't just take for granted one person. And many times when I was with the band, somebody would come up and be like, hey man, really dig your band. And I'd be like, I would honestly, I'd take it for granted. I was not great about it. I wasn't thankful for it. And I look back on it and I'm like, wow, how lucky am I that somebody stopped me on the street to say, hey, I dig your band. I don't need to say that. Nobody needs to say any of that. And it impacts them so much that they said something. That's huge. That's really big. But I would think in my head, well, we didn't sell out that last show. So I would sit there and be, in some type of misinformed value of the capacity show. Or did we sell out of CDs? Did we, get the write-up in the big publication? This one person came up to me. I'm taking my time with this because I'm just seeing so many things right now. 1, you understand the value of the power of one. 2, you understand that when you understand the value of the many, once you understand the value of the one, it's like basically people power, community power. And the last thing I'll just throw in here is kindness and compassion for the one person. It goes further than you will ever know. All the times that I could have responded with my full heart to people that were saying, hey, I dig your band, and I didn't. All the times that I had with my grandmother where, we were talking and I just, maybe I looked down at my phone or something. You don't get those back. And when you're in the moment of it, I think it is extremely important to practice radical gratitude. Radical gratitude. And when you can express kindness and compassion for somebody giving it to you or just giving it to somebody just off top, it expands your life in a way and it expands your heart in a way that you'll start to take on newfound abilities and visions that you never thought were possible in the past. And for me, going to therapy and being able to give grace, give forgiveness, give gratitude, and be present, I don't even know where to start with this. It did so many things, and this is probably a different video. But it goes back to the one. It's like when you can be kind and compassionate to the one person and just in that moment, just lock in on that moment, you expand so many things. We went to New York and we played at, I believe it was like Soho or something like that, Mercury Lounge, and only one person showed up to the show. We were on tour, went through South, We went through the East Coast, like North Carolina. I don't think you consider that southern states. But we went to New York City. We played at the Mercury Lounge, and one person showed up. And that person sat through the whole show. They really wanted to be at the show. And I remember feeling like a failure at that time. Felt really bad. And I look back, and that one person that had showed up to the show was a super fan of the band. They had saw us in Minnesota when we were here. They moved out to New York City, and they were like, oh, I'm gonna catch this band. We did the best we could. We did the best that we could with what we had. But the thing is that if you're doing it for a capacity crowd or this idea of a sold out field and, you know, like Edinburgh or something like that, or whatever it is, those big shows in Europe where they got the fields and people are just jumping up and down, I would proffer to say that I would be in it for the wrong reasons. It is over a decade later since that show in New York City, and I still do music and spoken word, and it is not for a sold out audience. I could honestly care less if anybody showed up or not. The reason why I do art, and this is the thing for you, you figure out your why. And if your why is just for the money or just for the numbers or just for the quantity, I don't believe that quantity is real. I was thinking that before I did this video, and I was like, don't say that. Oh gosh. And now I'm saying it because I think the realest thing is the one person. It's the one-on-one. It's somebody feeling impacted by your words, by your presence, and what you have to say. And never discount that. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but do not underestimate. I will never underestimate the one. I see so many people throughout the day, and it does not cost much just to stop and say thank you and look them in their eyes and hold that moment. That's it. And I say that with my heart because what I write now, I think about this with my grandfather and my grandmother. My grandfather would write my grandmother salutations, and he would say salutations, da, 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 da. And I've pretty much done that throughout my whole life, always written letters to people that are important to me. And it's not for, you know, the notoriety or for anybody else to see it and be like, oh, look at this letter I did. And I think back to like the times that I've made things that I'm most proud of or I feel most connected to, and it's just things that I just do. I don't really think much about it, I just write it. I wrote a letter for a dear friend yesterday, and I didn't think much of it, just like click, clack, just, and then, you know, threw it out. I gave it to the person. And those moments are as important as the ones that you have with hundreds of thousands of people. Because that's what accumulates a life's work, is many ones stacked upon each other. And you can't give energy to the one if you're only waiting to give energy to 100 or 1,000 at a time. It just doesn't work like that. People take you as you are. And the thing that I was thinking about in the middle of this video before we started is a lot of people will wait until they have, you know, 100 or 1,000 or, you know, 3,000 people showing up to the show to see it as some signs of, well, now these people believe in me. And we're going back to the first step. The one is you. The most important person that you need to believe in you is you. The most important person that you need to develop a relationship with is you. The most important person that you can give gratitude to is you. The most important person you can give grace and forgiveness to is yourself, because once you give that to yourself, you are then able to genuinely and authentically give it to other people. And I fully believe in this with my heart. This isn't something that's, the laws of physics or anything like that. But until I was willing to give myself love and compassion for just showing up and like doing the show or doing the spoken word, I couldn't really appreciate that one person being in the audience. Now I can. I'm like, whoa, this is friggin' awesome. Like, there's people here. I'm gonna say hi to every single one of them. and that's how that works. But I come back to the beginning of this, and it's not about how many people see the video. It's if one person can be helped, even just me, from this video, job well done. That's it. And am I willing to put the time in to do that? Yeah, I am. I've thought about this a long time. YouTube's been on my mind, and this is where I stand with it. And that's just where I'm at with that. And so I really believe in it, and I've thought about this a lot, and that's, it's the same thing with art as well. It's like, am I willing to put in the work for this? Yes, I am. I really am willing to put in the investment. I want to do this. I want to make that happen. And that's what I'm here for, and I've thought this through many times. And so I appreciate everybody that's impacted by these videos, and I hope that they're able to help you. And I know that daily videos maybe it's a lot, but again, I come back to my initial MO here, or my about page, if this were a website. I'm here to create an archive, a blueprint of how I've lived my life to hopefully help you live yours, or how to not live yours. Some wrong turns, or I don't see anything as really a wrong turn, but some paths that I've taken that could be a cautionary tale to you. Some things I've experienced that could be of advice to you. I don't know. Whatever it does to support or help you, that's great. And I think that I know that this is something that will help people long after I'm gone. And I know that's a morbid thing to think about, but I don't, oh man, we'll get into this in the next video. But I work so hard to get stories and lessons out of my parents and my other family members without it seeming like I'm trying to, siphon knowledge from them. But I love hearing the stories, and I figured this is a great way to give you stories and lessons without having to ask me. So there you are, the power of the one. And don't forget who the one is right now, all right? That's you. The power of you. If you're the only one on stage hearing those lyrics, hey baby, job well done. All right, that's it for this video. We'll see you in the next one.